So one thing that's been bothering me is that in order to add an item to the list, I type it and then I have to go move the mouse over to the plus button to add it. What I'd really like to do is to type the item and then press the enter key, but that doesn't work. So let's try to fix that. What happens if we just add an on key press event here and add item? What happens then? Buy milk. Okay, every time I press the key, another item is added. So that's not what we want. What we really want is that when the key we press is the enter key, only then should we add the item. Okay, we already have a guard here. We could just do something similar, state event. We take the event payload there, and we say if event key is not equal to enter, then we just return the state. Otherwise, we go on and do the rest of the stuff. So let's try that. Buy milk, I'm pressing the enter key now, and that works. But now the button doesn't work anymore because click events don't have a key. Okay, so what if we made a new special action just for key press events? We could copy all that, call it add item with enter key, and we could go make the original add item back to how it was before. And then we need to use the new one, add item with enter key. Using the enter key works. Using the plus button works. Nice. Except, of course, we don't want to duplicate this stuff here. Maybe we think we could do something like this. We could say if event key is not equal to enter, return state. Otherwise, we return add item state. Now, this will work technically, but this is kind of an anti-pattern, calling one action from within another action. And we'll find out more about why later. For now, let me just show you the alternative. In fact, Hyperapp supports actions that return other actions. So instead of calling add item action, we could just return it. Add item. Let's try this. Foo, it works. Bar with the button also works. Now, this is kind of a generic feature that we'd like to maybe reuse in other cases. It'd be smart to break it out into a separate utility that we could use anywhere when someone wants an action to happen with the enter key. So let's try that. Let's make with enter key a function that takes an action and returns a wrapping action, so something that takes a state and a payload. And if the payload has a key, and if the payload key is enter, return the action. Otherwise, just return the state. Now, we don't even need this special action. We can just say with enter key add item. Foo with the enter key works, and bar with the button works just as well. We could even make sure to make this utility a little bit more generic and safe by actually passing along the payload in case the other action needs to do more with it. Let's make one more utility action just like this one. I've been thinking how input new item takes the event. Wouldn't it make more sense to have an action that actually took the text of the new item and it wasn't dependent on it being an event? We can make another generic utility action wrapper like this, const with target value equals the action and state payload, and if payload has target and payload target value, return action payload target value. Otherwise, return state. Now we can change this to just be the input. And here we can wrap this one in with target value. And the benefit of doing this is that in the future, when we have other input fields, we can use the same thing and we won't have to do this whole thing about extracting from the payload target. It's more declarative. Does it still work though? Yep, looks like.